Hello, welcome to my channel. Legal Junction is here again today with a very insightful and interesting topic, which is the 7 rights of a tenant. A tenant is a person who is in lawful occupation of a landlord's premises, either by way of paying rent or by operation of the law. Number 1 right of a tenant: the right to a copy of the tenancy agreements. Normally, before a tenant moves into a landlord's premises, there have to be an agreement. This agreement can either be oral or written, but it's always better to do a written agreement where the intentions of the parties will be expressly and clearly stated. Once the landlord and the tenant execute this agreement, the tenant is entitled to a copy of his own agreement. Number 2, the right to rent payment receipts. Once the tenant pays his rent, he is entitled to his rent payment receipts. In some states, it is even an offense for a landlord not to issue rent payment receipts to the tenants. If the landlord does not have a rent payment receipt to issue, a written acknowledgement of receipts of rent from the tenant duly signed by the landlord will suffice as a rent payment receipt. Bank tellers and bank statements does not suffice as payment receipts because it does not state the reason why the money was transferred or paid into the landlord's account. Number 3 right of a tenant is the right to quiet and peaceful enjoyment of the premises. Once the tenant pays for a premises, he has the right to peacefully enjoy the premises. These rights include the right to privacy, right to freedom of unreasonable disturbance, right to enjoy all the areas of the premises, and the right to exclusive possession. This right is, however, subject to the landlord's right of inspection and repairs. But if the landlord wants to effect repairs or inspect the premises, he has to give the tenant a prior notice, and he has to also effect such repairs and carry out such inspections within the reasonable time of the day. Number 4 rights of a tenant is the right to a valid quit notice. If a tenant is to be ejected or evicted from a premises, he has the right to be issued a valid quit notice. The length of notice depends on the nature of the tenancy. If it is a yearly tenant, he is entitled to 6 months notice. If it is a half-yearly tenant, he is entitled to 3 months notice. If he is a quarterly tenant, he is entitled to a month's notice. And if he is a weekly tenant, he is entitled to a week's notice. Quit notice can be issued even while the rent of the tenant is still subsisting, but it must end at least together with the expiration of the rent of the tenant, or after the expiration of the rent of the tenant. Any quit notice that expires before the expiration of the rent of the tenant is not a valid quit notice. Number 5 right of a tenant is the right to 7 days notice. After the quit notice has been issued to the tenant and it has expired, and the tenant still retains possession of the premises, the tenant is entitled to also receive a 7 days notice, which is a letter written by the landlord's lawyer informing the tenant that if he still detains the premises after 7 days, that they will file an action against him in the court of law. The provision of 7 days notice by the law is to avoid forceful ejection and embarrassment from the tenant, and also to afford the tenant a little more time to look for an alternative apartment. Number 6 right of a tenant is the right to fair hearing. If the 7 days notice expires and the tenant still retains possession of the premises, the landlord and his lawyer will then have to sue him to court. The court will invite him to come to court and state his own case. Right to fair hearing is not just limited to a tenant. It is a right which is enjoyed by every citizen. It is a fundamental human right. If the court invites the tenant to come and state his case and he refuses to appear in the court to state his case, the court will go ahead and give judgment based on the evidence of the landlord. Number 7 right of the tenant is the right to sue. The tenant has the right to sue the landlord for trespass, breach of the tenancy agreements, or failure of the landlord to perform his own part of the tenancy agreements. A tenant can equally sue the landlord whenever the landlord threatens to forcefully eject him. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please click on the like button. Ask your questions in the comment section. I will reply to all the questions. And please subscribe, as more enlightening and insightful topics will be coming your way from Legal Junction. Bye. My name is Ifoma.